Well, during the Bush years, we cut taxes, or they cut taxes, and they spent money that we didn't have, and the result was the national debt doubled in the span of 8 years. President Bush inherited a very slight annual operating surplus and turned that into a $1 trillion annual operating deficit as last year. I don't think more of the same is what we need right now, and this struck me as more of the same. I'll use, fairly simple terms. I have borrowed money to build a house. I have borrowed money to remodel a house. Those are long-term investments in something that's going to last for a long time, and I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem if I ever get to the point where I'm borrowing money to pay my light bill. And so part of this bill, a fairly small part of it, was for infrastructure that I do think made sense because it's going to last for a long time. But a lot of it was for expenditures that are repetitive expenditures. A lot of it was for repetitive expenditures that the states really ought to be paying, and I do believe that there's a role for the national government. I believe there's a role for the state governments. And so I just didn't buy the idea that, again, this is only, if the president signs this, he'll be only, to my knowledge, only the second president in American history to cut taxes during a war. The first was George Bush. There was absolutely no plan to pay this off, and I did ask that question at the Democratic caucus, and there's just no plan to pay it off. So again, we go from about $5.6 trillion worth of debt the day George Bush passed his first budget, which included tax cuts and spending increases. We're now hovering around $11 trillion. I'm pretty sure this gets us over the $12 trillion mark by the time it's implemented. I think those are all steps in the wrong direction.